flag of the Philippines. Proudly waving above our island nation, the flag of the Philippines is one of the most iconic of the Pacific. But where did it come from? The first Philippine flags were a variety of designs used by a revolutionary group called the Katipunan, an organization that was fighting for Philippine independence from Spain. Designs ranged wildly, and while many have elements akin to the modern Philippine flag, it's unclear which ones exactly inspired the current design. In the 1970s, the government released a series of stamps showing what they called the evolution of the Philippine flag. But the accuracy of these designs is debatable, and there were absolutely more than just these flags used during the revolution. The national flag was designed by revolutionary leader and future Philippine President Emilio Aguinaldo. It was first flown on May 28, 1998 at the Battle of Alapan, where the Spanish were soundly defeated by Aguinaldo. The first design consisted of a blue and red bicolor, with a white triangle on the hoist, in which were 3 5-pointed stars and a stylized depiction of the sun. The red symbolized the courage of the Filipino people. The blue represents the willingness of the Filipino people to die rather than to submit to an invader. And the white is meant to convey that the Philippine people are able to rule themselves. The sun design was based loosely on the flag of Argentina, a fellow Spanish colony which won their independence. The triangle came from the Masonic ideals that the Katipunan espoused, drawing on similar motifs from the American and French revolutions. And the red and blue stripes intentionally mimicked the United States, then the poster child for anti-colonialism. The flag was formally adopted and later unfurled at the Declaration of Independence on June 12, 1898. This first flag still exists today, and is currently kept in the Emilio Aguinaldo Museum in the city of Baguio. As the Philippine Revolution was heating up, the Spanish became targets for the overseas imperialism of the United States. America quickly became involved in the ongoing revolutions in the Philippines and Cuba, and soon stripped Spain of her Caribbean and Pacific colonies. The Filipinos had supported the American cause enthusiastically, believing the U.S. would grant them independence after the war. Instead, the Philippines became an American colonial possession. This caused the Philippine revolutionaries to turn on the Americans, sparking the Philippine-American War, otherwise called the Philippine Insurrection or the Tagalog Insurgency. This was the first time that the Philippine flag was flown upside down, which denotes that there is currently a state of war. Whereas the Spanish Empire had been waning, the American Empire was waxing, and the U.S. forces couldn't be smacked around so easily. The Filipinos lost this war, remaining in American possession. The display of the Philippine or Katipunan flags was made illegal under the Flag Act of 1907, and would stay that way until America began to loosen her grip on the islands, and the flag was reinstated on March 26, 1920. Aguinaldo's flag would be brought back, but the details on the stars and sun, as well as the sun's face, were removed, and the ratio of the triangle and the stripes and the exact shades of the colors would be altered as well. In 1935, the Commonwealth of the Philippines was declared, giving the Philippines much more independence, despite still being under American protection. President Manuel L. Quezon would sign an executive order in 1936 standardizing the design and altering it slightly. This flag was flown right through World War II by the Philippine government in exile. But in 1943, the Japanese set up a puppet government in the Philippines that used Aguinaldo's original design, but later adopted a more contemporary look. After the war was over, the Philippines would keep the 1936 design after their independence in 1946. Keeping the basic look until today. The government would keep tweaking with a shade of blue, however, changing it twice in 1985 and changing it back in 1986, before changing to the current shade in 1998. And this design is what flies over the great nation of the Philippines to this very day.
Have a flag you want me to cover? Leave a comment and I might get around to it.